to LCK Cup where it's just like, oh, we take first pick. Okay, we take blue side. That was every single series pretty much.
Yep.
We have seen the meta change a little bit in terms of what teams are prioritizing. Now, though, with KT on blue side, a lot less pressure to ban the OPs. And that first pick has so much weight to it. Immediately, DN Supers take away the Rumble, you know, Rumble, Karma, Varus. Those are the big ones.
Yeah.
But also, I think playing into BDD, I think a look-in needs to be had at some of the mid laners that are available.
I mean, what do you ban against BDD? I don't even know. Like, what would be your first thing that you're like, okay, we need to take this away from BDD? Because the guy, he plays everything at an extremely high level nowadays. Like, he is Mr. Robot.
Well,
it feels like the memes are actually true, and you know, Wolf and Atlas, we're really onto something.
Apparently, Rise is the first one that they have their sights set on. Orianna gonna get taken away. Karma, Varus, two really strong picks we often see banned. Second and third most banned so far in the regular season. One of them needs to be left open. Also to note, the Yorick ban, perhaps telegraphing a certain Hex Tech inventor that KT want to pick up for Perfect.
Is that Heimerdinger?
No, the other one.
Oh, okay.
Actually, if you watched Arcane, Heimer was actually against Hex Tech, you know?
Oh.
He wasn't, he was like, no, this is dangerous.
I see.
But Karma's going to be left open here, which I, presume is just going to get first picked.
And Ezreal is also left open. So sometimes we see like Ezreal bans. If they pick Jarvan and leave Ezreal available,
yeah, I
don't know what we're doing.
I assume they would have to go Jarvan Ezreal, but you know, that's leaving Jace, and that feels very risky. Oh, they're going to go Ashe Seraphine, but then you're just going to play into Ezreal Karma, and Ezreal can jump outside of the Cataclysm. Also, you know, the Yorick was banned. Okay, well, they're going Pantheon Ezreal. I guess you'll have a chance to ban the Jace in the second rotation. I think KT maybe just, you know, the plan was we'll get the Jace with the Yorick on, but now they're like, well, actually, we'll just take all of this stuff.
Might as well.
Yeah. Like, in isolation, Ashe Seraphine Jarvan is strong, but drafts are contextual. And Cataclysm and Ezreal not so hot. And we've seen the Ezreal Karma, the early levels, off level 1 in particular is favored towards them. You lose a lot of the pressure that Ashe Seraphine normally has. And at level 6, that's where the Ashe Seraphine can really come back into it. But if you start to fall behind and just never get back to the matchup, it's going to feel really rough. And I just feel bad that like the Jarvan into Ezreal just never feels good, really.
Yeah, I mean, I understand Jarvan priority, but as you said, contextual.
Yeah.
Like, they need to go back and look at this one for sure.
Azir going to be banned away. Mel as well. Mel banned. I feel like, I mean, it's probably not going to be the priority, but Mel does really well into like Ahri. To me, though, Annie, Aurora are the big mid laners still open and available that I'd be thinking of. Aurora going to get banned away. I think DN Supers should just pick Annie here. Yeah, because normally Aurora's the answer to Annie. Gives you some extra engage. You can just explode Karma. Oh, this is...
Here we go. I mean, you've already got Karma Ezreal. You know what's really great with that? Renekton. No, I was going to say Zoe, but then they swapped it.
If they pick the Zoe, I'm so concerned for DN Supers.
Yeah. Anything with a good amount of range into Annie is generally pretty good. Hui is another one you can pick.
Okay. I mean, I think Hui fits kind of what the comp wants to do. Oh.
Or just play a Kali?
Okay. I'm less... I was very scared that BDD was going to bring out the Zoe, and we're just going to get one of those BDD games where he just kind of wins. But Akali, as much as it's a big threat to this backline, I think isn't going to have the most fun into the Annie specifically. Because now, when we look at the draft, DN Super's got pretty strong solo lane matchups. You know, the Nara into Renekton, the Annie into the Akali. And the bot lane, as much as I was concerned about it, it's not completely unplayable in the 2v2. Like, there are some 2v2s into Ezreal Karma, you just FF, it's just over.
Yeah.
it's not completely unplayable. It's just not fun, and level 1 in particular is like the big pain point. So we'll see what Knockdown and Quantum can do, especially when they get their ults available. That's a big turning point. So I think the draft started off a bit rough, but I think DN Super's slightly salvaged it. But I'm still very concerned with like the dive threat onto the Ashe Seraphine, with the Karma Ezreal as well. If they do get momentum in lane, I feel like it's just going to be a blowout.
Yeah. And we've definitely seen that before from the favored team kind of stomping lane with a draft like this and just absolutely destroying them in the follow-up game, you know, rest of the game. We've had a lot of those 2-0s nowadays, actually. Some pretty one-sided ones, and I really hope that the DN Supers, you know, Quantum steps up, he and Duckdom get through that lane and show us some good stuff. Otherwise, this could get a bit ugly. The Akali definitely pretty interesting here from BDD. Not what we expected. DN Supers up against KT Rolster as we hop into the rift for game 1. Game number 1, and I think we're going to find out pretty quickly if DNS are up to the task up against KT.
Yeah, this is a sort of game that could just be a blowout if one team really gets the momentum. So I'll have to see. I do honestly like DNS's team fight if they can get to that stage. That's a big if. So let's see. Notably, aiming went the cleanse, which a lot of value at level 6. Into the Ashe Seraphine, but a bit weaker in the early trading into the Ashe Seraphine, just in general, in the bot lane 2v2. And one of the things with having the cleanse available is I feel like it honestly, even after 6, it matters less for the 2v2 than it does for team fights, because they can just ult Effort. Like, after 6, you probably want to kill Effort anyway, because he's immobile, he's the easier target. You just ult him, kill him, he doesn't have cleanse, okay. But the cleanse does have that value for team fights and skirmishes, and also just generally for keeping aiming safe, so...
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they do fight that one out. In the mid lane, BDD on record as saying that he hates losing lane. He did pick Akali into Annie.
Yeah, this is not the matchup you pick if you want to win lane, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. But, as you mentioned, you know, they're going pretty heavily, especially on the top side of the map, into a lot of dive threats. A lot of, okay, we're going to stun a target, blow them up with a lot of burst. Hopefully it's the squishy backline. And Akali certainly can do that if she avoids some of the CC. Namely, well, the Annie, very reliable. But also, you know, Ashe and Seraphine and even Gnar.
Oh, missed cannon. Unfortunate.
-1.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, BDD has TP, still has that health potion, so even though his health is low, he's getting a lot of value from Second Wind, from Doran Shield. It's just the Yone style, weather the storm, and just get bullied in lane and just get to level 6 and then be a monster.
Yeah, Doran Shield pretty good at helping you do that.
Bot lane going pretty good in 2v2 so far. We haven't gotten to see much down here, but health bar is looking pretty healthy. Down potion on both people though, but considering how strong the Ezreal Karma level 1 is, I think this is okay position to be in. Pioshik has a backup from closer, so he gets to secure this scuttle as well.
Oh no! 9 health, cuz from downtown. And neither of them had smite, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's well played by Cuz, but I think for Pioshik, a little miscalculation on the damage. I think the correct, I mean, Pantheon Q Empower does so much damage. I was saying maybe you could have just waited it out. But I mean, I don't think it would have killed if he just stopped as soon as he saw him wind up, but it does a lot of damage. So maybe it would have. Either way, he gets a top scuttle. Now he's looking for a potential gank.
And Perfect immediately flashes, knows that, well, it's not worth just dying to Pioshik here. Gotta play it safe, gotta maintain my health, which is what he exactly is going to do in this lane against the Gnar.
Okay.
아니야, 나 윗게 가고 싶긴 한데.
I want to go top scuttle,
내가 먹었다, 개꿀.
but I got it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Free win.
not gonna lie, watching the replay, I don't even think he had a chance to like hold it on the health it was on. I think Pantheon just does too much damage. Well, unlucky, I guess.
Yeah, I think trying to burst it down, but just a little bit more damage was needed there. Pretty unfortunate. And so far, I mean, this game is still very much open to both sides. We do see that BDD very slightly behind, but this is kind of what you would expect. He still has TP. He's going to fall a little bit behind, and that's just kind of the way it's going to go. And should be totally fine to back and get some items.
I think
that Hextech Alternator. Tons of damage coming in here from Perfect on a Dudu. Right before Meganar, too. Very nicely timed.
I think bot lane's been going pretty good, though, in return. Oh, he's staying around. I mean, he nearly has Mega, but Renekton has ult. A little scary. Yeah, Perfect finding some good pressure, and he has just been on form so far this season. But the point I was saying before was bot lane doing pretty good. Quantum and Doctam. Doctam already got the tier 2 boots, which helps with dodging those skill shots. But the fact they're pretty even in farm at this point, haven't really been pressured too much. Definitely a positive. If you get through like level 1 is where you can really just take so much harass and not really have too much recourse. But I think if you're at this point and you haven't really suffered, you're in a great spot. You're gonna get to level 6 and get access to those ultimates, which is so much more power than the Ezreal Karma has.
Closer just gave the Tivers away. It was about to expire, it looked like, but wasn't able to pull it back on time and just kind of sent it into BDD.
I feel like some players don't know that you get gold for killing it.
It kind of does look like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, not a small amount of gold either.
Yeah. It's like almost a cannon minion. Gotta be careful with that. But yeah. The Prime was there on the bottom side, but Pyosik was right nearby, so they just pull off of the Drake. Elect not to do it just yet. KT, that is.
Yeah. Playing it safe, playing it respectful. Now... Oh.
It's nice trading, regardless, from Effort getting on in there, using that heal, and just really trying to exert as much pressure as possible as aiming hits level 6 as well.
Yeah, Doctam not too far away from his, a little bit longer for Quantum. That's the point where it gets scary for KT, particularly for Effort, if he's the focus target. Looks like they're trying to move down now, though, before those ults are available. BDD's making a beeline.
Oh, the flash in from Effort. He wants to kill Doctam, in so much trouble. Although the shield's pretty good. BDD, though, he lands and gets on in there. Immediately gets rooted, looking for the kill on a Quantum. Not quite going to get it, but it's just a kill that Quantum gets. And a nice chunk of gold for BDD.
Yeah, honestly, all things considered, I think Quantum playing it pretty well. I was convinced they were just going to lose 2 of them at that point. You know, getting the kill back in return. Obviously not on... I mean, gold on Seraphine's not terrible, to be honest. But Epic goes in, the early heal to give them distance. Doctam doesn't get rooted there, which is an important factor. Just breaks the tether slightly. And then that root there from Quantum was key at sort of keeping BDD under the tower for some extra time. He ends up just going in. I think he maybe sensed that he wasn't getting out of this one, and it was quicker to die quickly and give the kill over to Seraphine rather than everyone else. Pyosik was actually moving down toward him, so... But either way, it's 1 for 1. We do see that Doctam missed a bit of farm, and obviously them being down sums is a bit of a weakness. But does have that Ash Arrow and the Seraphine ult available.
Yeah, so we'll see if those tables actually do get turned in terms of the level 6 spike here for Doctam and Quantum. They're just going to start this Drake. And we had Cuz backing, but now he's coming along here.
Oh, Perfect's walked down, by the way. So...
yeah, they're going to back off of this Drake real quick when they see Perfect.
Yeah, no sums on the bot lane in that position is so risky. Yoshi could go for a steal, but it looks like he's not even bothered. I think that's the right call. You give Dudu some alone time with the turret. It's just Fierce Dragon. Second Dragon's Hextech as well, so you're feeling even better about the decision since you know it's not going to be a Hextech Soul. But I think DNS making a pretty good decision just to back off and live to fight another day.
Yeah, it's definitely the right call. We've seen a lot of different teams just kind of face plant in that position where it's like they've made the decision and they're going to follow through on it, even though it's not the right call. And it comes back to bite them. But so far, it's just a kill apiece after BDD went down to the bottom lane. And he fell a bit behind on CS, but he's ahead on gold after picking up the first blood. Still going to be feeling pretty good about that. You do want to get your Akali somewhat snowballed.
Yeah, do see Yoshi moving over towards the grubs, but is on vision. ED's pretty low already, though. This is not the easiest 3v3 for KT to fight on the top side of the map. Looks like Yoshik's just going to take one grub and be happy with it. Effa has no flash now in this lane, so puts him in kind of a scary position. The big thing with playing into Karma in the 2v2 is if she burns her Mantra, that's when she's like really vulnerable, because Mantra W does so much self-healing. Okay, an arrow even for BDD, but Mantra W does so much self-healing, especially because there's no ignites in very often in pro play.
Yeah.
If you Mantra W when they all in you, it can buy so much time. So if Effa throws out a Mantra Q and then walks up, I feel like DNS honestly could just chain ults and kill him. Like the CC duration is really long.
Yeah, you can tell he's definitely being a bit less aggressive. Before level 6, he was getting in there. He was trying to go for aggressive tethers, looking for opportunistic Qs on people, but instead now he's just kind of sitting back. And that's definitely the right call, especially without his flash. Not the highest action game, but KT still enjoying a pretty decent lead with their Ezreal so far ahead. The Gold King aiming, sitting on a nice chunk of change.
It's a great spot to be going into the mid game as an Ezreal to have a lead like this. Especially when you're getting 1 and 2 items, big spikes for them. Just have that Triforce completed now, so... You know, I'm talking about them being able to focus effort. Effort's flash is coming back up. Aiming now with a Triforce is a much bigger threat. I think maybe DNS not finding the window to force something with those ults have to be a bit respectful.
Perfect clears these waves so quickly that even if he proxies here and Pyosic's there, it's like not even a guarantee that they can really lock him down, especially based on the Gnar timing and all that. So he's just aggressively trying to push this lead he has in the top lane as much as possible.
Yeah, we've seen Perfect in a lot of this when he has when he has Prio on the top lane, moving towards mid to try and put pressure down. But now DNS bot lane under fire.
Missing, though. Like the True Shot barrage missed, the Mystic shot from aiming, the spear even didn't do much. So they're just like, yeah, you know what? Never mind. Let's just go for closer instead. He does have flash. He is going to utilize it, plus the Proto Belt, the Rocket Belt. And he does get out of dodge that way.
They finished development. It's not Proto anymore.
Yes. Duckdom's getting in there, but at the end of the day, Effort's right here. So he's going to take a ton of damage. Mantra Q to the face, goes for the barrier, but there's the Torment. Pyosik is here. Effort's going to flash out. A very close affair down in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I think DNS bot lane just going a little over-aggressive, trying to force into aiming's firing line when he has that Triforce. Very dangerous, and with him having the cleanse as well, all summons being available, you can't really rely too heavily on your ultimates bailing you out of the problem.
Oh. That was slick.
Yeah, able to pick up the plate for himself, but yeah, bot lane issue's not really being alleviated here.
Okay, so Perfect is going to attempt to get out. There's no Cataclysm, remember. He used it on the bottom side, and now we're going to have this nicely placed disengage cone, which Dudu very nicely is going to hit.
Yeah, Dudu actually honestly misplayed there. He went for the third auto onto Perfect instead of autoing the blast cone, and then by the time his next auto was ready, he'd move to the other side to get away. If he'd knocked him back, I mean, at minimum, he could have gotten his flash. It feels kind of bad that he actually committed his own flash and didn't get it.
Yeah, definitely a bit of an issue. You saw him on the camera as not feeling or looking too happy with that play. And yeah, now you're down a flash against a very strong Renekton. Dudu is ahead on gold, but Renekton can always be a big threat. We do have the Hextech Drake live. It looks like KT have already set up some nice vision around there, although there is a ward from DNS on that objective.
Play picked up. Crocodile slammed into the turret. Duckdom now has the face item completed, but again, no flash on the Ashe, no flash on the Annie. Does put DNS's teamfight into a little bit of a vulnerable position if they want to set up this dragon. Instead, it looks like they're trying to focus top lane and just give up the second dragon.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you get a decent amount of gold from this, but look at the bot lane at the same time. They're trying to go for the dive here on a Perfect, who does not have his Dominus and is already taken a bunch of damage, but no kill to come through and no dive, no full commit. And that's going to be first turret here to Aiming down in the bottom lane, plus a bonus second Drake for KT, and it's Infernal Soul. It's Perfect's just clearing the wave. He should be okay.
I really find it weird that they didn't commit more onto Perfect when he was like under tower. They still had the Seraphine ult available. Dudu could have cut him off when he was low on HP. And now they're in trouble.
Yeah, Duckdom does not have Flash. He's just dead. And so is Quantum. And that play, very confusing. And KT, they're just like, okay, what are you doing? We're just going to shut that down immediately.
Yeah, I think for DNS, if you're going to make a swap like that, if you're going to give up Dragon and go for that top lane play, you have to commit. You have to make that work. You have to kill Perfect, get the tower. Instead, it felt like they were kind of hesitant with how much they wanted to put into it. And I think it just kind of bit them in the backside. And now KT should just be able to pick up objective after objective after objective, chaining them together. You can see Pyosik doesn't want to contest it.
Yeah. Remember when we were talking about the draft and, well, Pyosik's considering it, but he's not going to do it. And we were talking about how if a snowball begins, either of these teams could really take off. Well, KT has the snowball beginning, and this is kind of where it's tipped off the edge.
Quantum even cancels his recall to try and help his AD carry, so he just dies too. Pretty unfortunate.
Yes, brave, but not gold positive.
Second kill for BDD as well.
Duckdom is taking so much damage. He's just trying to exist in the mid lane. A little bit too close to the sun, apparently, as the charm comes in. And Cuz says, all right, that's good enough for me. All I had to do is press my stun.
Aiming is level 11, by the way, and Duckdom's not even level 10 yet. He's like a full level and a half above him. This is not good.
Yeah. And, you know, our spacers, I think, are going to have a really easy time breaking this game down. You know, if they bring out the first highlight, it might just be that weird macro decision that got KT so far ahead. Just the extra 2 bonus kills on top of it all. Just like straight into the pockets of BDD and Cuz. Those are the 2 people you do not want to have gold. I guess Aiming as well, but at this point, now they're going to just drop the Rift Heralds. Pretty early on, actually, not going to wait for the Drake. Just going to drop it in there, an effort he's going to respect with the flash. He says, nope, not taking any chances here. As the root comes down on the Tibbers, but it doesn't look like they're getting anything there. As BDD also getting a turret in top.
And a 9 farm as well.
What aren't they getting?
Well, they didn't get the mid tower yet.
Yeah.
Yet. But it's looking pretty good for KT. This one, I mean, we've had more explosive KT games. This one just feels like DNS bleeding out over time. And at some point, they have to make something happen. Whether it's a pick or trying to set up one of these dragon fights. You know, with there being Infernal Soul as well. Infernal Soul with an Ezreal who's this far ahead.
Ezreal and Akali are like two of the users that use it so well. Like the individual Drakes, because they can utilize both sides of the damage. And it just feels so obnoxious when they actually get the soul for that extra burst. And yeah, they didn't get the tier 1 yet, but now they're going to get it. As Aiming steps up.
I guess they are just getting everything. Well, a minute 15 until next dragon. How are they going to fight it? No, I'm asking you, Brendan, how?
I mean, there's still a way for them to be proactive, right? They still do have a lot of tools in their toolkit. We just haven't seen them use any of them, you know?
Yeah,
like they haven't...
Wheels in their wheelhouse.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I was going to say the same exact thing. Wow. Like, you have an Ash Arrow, you have Seraphine ult, you have an Annie with Flash, right? Like, there are so many ways for them to press buttons and try to attack someone, right? It's not like you're sitting back and it's a Zero Shin Jiao and you're playing, like, the slow game.
Here's my concern. There is flashes on Cuz, BDD, and Aiming. Aiming even has cleanse.
He utilized the walk to the right strategy as well.
The Ash Arrow I don't know where it's gone. You know, it's left the game. It's in Valorant now.
Yeah. We've actually solved that one before. Duck Dom trying to step up to aiming. Got to be careful.
Like
they actually they orbit Summoner's Rift.
Oh, okay. There must be a lot out there now.
There are.
Effort's like the easiest target to kill, but if you blow everything on Effort, I think you'd still lose the fight. So it's not looking too promising. They're just not contesting the Dragon. Okay. This is a strategy.
That is something you can do.
Yeah. This is an option teams have.
Yeah. Going way back to the Jin Air days, this is something I actually like to call the Jin Air because they did it the best, where it's like you get ever so slightly behind and then you do absolutely nothing and you lose the game. It's like a very passive way of losing where you're not confident to actually make anything happen proactively. And I don't blame them too much because, you know, it's against KT and they are very far behind. It's not easy. It's not what I mean. It's just that they're just not really doing anything. So it's one of the ways to lose. It's the opposite of what BNK Fear X do, where it's like, we're very far behind. Let's just fight them again and see what happens.
Yeah.
Over and over. And sometimes they come back that way. Most of the time, though, they lose a big fight at 19 minutes and lose very quickly.
Yeah, I do think the wait forever and do nothing strategy probably works worse than the try fight our way back into it.
Yeah.
There's a balanced strategy somewhere between those two.
That's what most teams do.
Wait for the right moment. Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wait for the right moment to fight?
Somewhere in between Fear X and Jin Air, there's equilibrium, which most of our teams have figured out.
Well, aiming's on his 2-item spike with red and blue buff. You know, it is just him having the biggest goal lead, having both buffs. It's just the aiming way.
He's not missing a single minion. He's just there. He's making sure he gets all the golds.
I'm surprised he doesn't ask Cuz to set camps up for him so he can just Mystic Shot to finish them off. Like, start the Rafters for me, and then I'll walk over, queue them, or get them low and I'll ult them, you know, to finish the camps off.
Yeah.
Instead, just decides to do a third of Doc Dam's HP.
Back in the day, you could just ult things and do bajillion damage to them, clear entire waves. It was really broken. And Ezreal is still, like, bannable in today's meta in 2026. They're just kind of sitting here dying to Ezreal.
Oh, you know, it looked like Pioshi wanted to engage, and then he remembered he's playing Jarvan into Ezreal.
Yeah, you know, we did talk about that in the draft. That was the moment where my brain immediately, like a switch flipped, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's going to be this kind of game. Like, that was the beginning. Keep in mind, he has cleanse.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. At least they would have gotten the cleanse, okay? Yeah. At least that would have been something. He's arcane shifting aggressively. That's how unafraid he is. And everyone, okay, this is one of the things I think with the slow strategy. So when you're behind, if you go for your aggressive play and the enemy team has all their flashes, they will just flash out of your engage and then kill you with the goal difference.
Yeah.
So if you don't do anything for the whole game and then wait until the Infernal Soul fight when they have all summoners up,
Endless Hunger,
you're just going to lose.
Yeah.
So that is kind of the benefit of forcing smaller fights to burn summoners. Like if they actually forced summoners from aiming, maybe they have a chance in this next fight. Even if it puts them a little bit further behind, like how much difference is like 600, 700 gold making compared to actually being able to kill aiming and wiping off the map? Because with both sums up, I just don't think he dies.
Well, Closer has TP. We'll see if he elects to also die with Dudu. Dudu does have Flash and Gnar and Hop, so maybe he actually does get away. BDD trying to stop that, but actually does have to Flash.
You know what? I was talking about how there hadn't been anyone's summoners, and BDD's like, you can have mine.
Yeah.
His little freebie.
Effort 2, he's like, how about a heal? Why not?
Yeah. Didn't Mantra W for the longer route on the Gnar? Instead, W'd into Mantra Q. I don't know if it would have killed him, but I think that would have been the slightly more setup for your Ezreal to do the damage.
Yeah. I think if he holds him in place for even a little bit longer, could have worked. He got Mikhail's Ox.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You know what, aiming, you can burn cleanse. It's fine now. There's a Mikhails to back you up.
This reminds me of the old days when it used to be Ruler and Core JJ just playing Ezreal Tom Kench. And they would just sit in mid and Ruler would just do literally whatever he wanted because there was no killing them. There was always the Tom Kench right there. He could E forward, he could flash in and be totally fine.
Right now, aiming is just kind of doing what he wants and playing if Ezreal and just spamming Qs. So, okay, 15 seconds until Dragon. Now should be the point where they fight. Aiming does recall kind of late, to be fair. So maybe this is their window. OTP coming in. Unsurprisingly, KT are wanting to contest this Dragon.
Makes sense.
Yeah. DNS, though, are trying to stack up Dudu's Narbar and get him over. Oh, look at this flank from BDD.
Well, BDD doesn't have flash at least. We'll see if that helps. Stuck down a huge chunk into him. And BDD just going to go into the Shroud and attempt to run away. Dudu is still on the chase as everybody else on the bottom side is taking poke.
I think KT can just go back to Dragon after forcing them away there.
There is a ward on it, at least. I mean, you got to fight, right? You got to do something.
Damage.
And you got to push through the Ezreal, unfortunately. Pushik's almost dead. And now over the top, in goes the Renekton. And Closer actually does get away for just a little bit of time until Perfect decides, I'm not going to be stunned anymore. I'm just going to press all my buttons. They get 3 of them essentially for free. Some lower health bars, but it's kind of a done deal in this one, guys, as KT will take the Infernal Soul.
Yeah, Pierchik's going to go solo Baron. No, perhaps not.
Hey, effort. 3,000 assists.
Congratulations. And nice to get such a dominant team fight on the back of it. You know, last series we had Keen getting 2,000 kills and a team fight loss. But KT kind of crushing this one now, having Infernal Soul. This Ezreal, like, look at that damage on a Quantum. You add Infernal Soul to that.
Hear this. Like,
yeah.
That was 2 Qs.
And they just can't engage onto him. Like, aiming's arcane shifting in, he gets ulted, he just cleanses it. There's nothing they can do in this situation. There's no response, there's nothing they can do to really challenge aiming, and he is just doing so much damage. Eventually, the fight starts because KT wanted to start. They're like, oh, our Ezreal has done enough damage that we can just roll over them.
Yeah.
Now, aiming has a Spirit Shojin as well, so I thought before he was playing AF Ezreal. Now he's really playing AF Ezreal. 4 items already, when everyone on DNS, like the most is 2, 2.5 at best. So, ow.
Yeah, Quantum's dead. There it is. The Q comes in.
Yeah.
That's the end of the Seraphine.
I think the game was over before this, but I think this is the signal.
Now they're just kind of making them look silly as DNS just melt like butter. And Kosik's like, man, you know, I haven't died yet on the Jarvan at least. I say, as aiming flashes in to kill him.
No intact KDAs in my game.
Yeah. More gold for me. Thank you. 6,000 gold lead, yes.
Yeah. Well, this will be a pretty easy end to the game for KT. Not quite a perfect game. There was that one kill. There was that one grub, which is debatable whether that counts. Oh my god, that damage. But it wasn't far away from a perfect game.
Wait, give the kill to aiming. He needs more gold. All right, well, they're actually going to dive him. No, I don't think you should, honestly, as there goes the Nexus. KT just absolutely wiped the floor with them.
Damage is going to be absurd, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the only reason he didn't do more was they just didn't last long enough for him to
die too quickly.
Yeah, but it's a pretty massive disparity, and
나르 어딨냐? 나르
스탄 넣을게. 오면 스탄 넣을게.
나르 노플이야 나르 노플.
형 이거 가이드 차. 믿어 와봐. 이대로 한 라인만. 내가 놀게.
나 미칼도 있어?
나 스트라이크 있어.
나랑 놀던가요?
끝날 듯 그냥. 오면 스탄 넣을게 그냥 무시하고 해도 되겠다. 아마 안 죽을 듯.
끝내자.
야 세라핀도 잡다. 상아 나 스킬 실드.
필드 2초. 뭐 잡게?
아니 나도 딜량 좀 한번 올려보게.
가능해?
야나 잡았어 천천히 해봐.
잡았어? 형 와봐 어시죠 그럼 어시죠 형.
내가 간다. 예스 오케이. 오 예스 굿.
야 세라핀.
가자. 안돼.
와.
뭐야?
뭐야?
하면 죽어 그냥.